Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikita, a second year student in Model Engineering College. I'll be talking about CTFs, what it is, why you should try it out, and how you can get started. I'll share my screen right now. Just a second. Okay, so CTF or Capture the Flag, to put it simply, is a gamification of cybersecurity learning. These are essentially competitions in which you compete with other contestants to solve a variety of tasks with the goal of acquiring flags. Now, these flags are basically just secret pieces of text, and in any given CTF question, there will be some kind of vulnerability that you can exploit in order to get that flag. So that's the gist of the whole thing. Now, the first question you need to be asking when deciding to do anything is why you might want to be doing that in the first place. And when it comes to CTFs, it's because it has got to be one of the best ways for you to learn ethical hacking and cybersecurity, if you're interested in it, of course. Because the alternative would be either reading books and documentation or listening to these concepts in a classroom, which would probably not be as engaging or nearly as fun as, well, playing a game. So yeah, and also because no matter what, no matter how much we read up on how to approach a problem, it can't match the amount of learning we end up doing just by trying it out once on our own. And that's not motivation enough. Then, well, it's a competition. So competitions are almost always pretty exciting, especially when they're played in teams. And speaking of that, you can participate in CTFs individually or in teams. It's totally up to you. All right, so CTFs are broadly classified into two types. The first one, which is what we're going to be dealing with for now, is the Jeopardy style, which presents the competitors with a set of questions under certain categories that have a set of clues that act as a guide while solving complex problems. And by taking these hints, you would have to decide which techniques and which methodologies you would need to use to get to the answers. And you usually get points depending on how many answers you're able to find and their difficulty levels. And the team with the highest points obviously wins. So, yeah, we'll go over the categories of questions in a bit more detail after discussing the second type as well. So, coming to the attack and defense type CTFs, in this type, every team has their own network with vulnerable services, and your team will be given time for patching up your services. And once the organizers connect the participants of the competition, the war game starts. So, just as the name indicates, you're supposed to protect your own services for defense points and hack those of your opponents for attack points. One example is the DEF CON CTF, which is something of a World Cup in the world of CTFs. There are also mixed types, that is both Jeopardy as well as attack and defense, and they might have varying formats. Like we could have a war game, but along with certain time-based tasks alongside it for bonus points or something. But anyway, we're only going to be concerned about the Jeopardy style for now, since that's what we usually see in school and college level competitions. So, like I said, we have a bunch of categories of challenges, and I'll just skim through them to give you an idea of what each one really is. So, the first one is web exploitation. In that, you'll need to have to find vulnerabilities on, say, a website, and then you can exploit that bug to gain some kind of higher level access or get some privileges to get your flag. And then we have reversing, which usually comes with an executable in which there is an algorithm that checks the input key. So basically, they do some operation on the flag and then they give it to us, and we have to reverse engineer it back to the input. Then we have forensics, as Sean has already mentioned. So most of the questions in forensics are all about having the right tools to decode it. For example, steganography is the practice of hiding information in plain sight, like embedding things in images or audio, things like that. Then we have pwning. Uh, these challenges usually test your skills in bypassing security mechanisms inside of systems. So A lot of the time, they would be binary exploitation challenges where you're given a program with some kind of bug that you need to exploit to take control of a system or just make it print the flag you want. So it's mostly just server side exploitation. Then we have cryptography finally. So here usually there's an encryption that is used to make some secure information unreadable. For example, one of the simplest ciphers is row 13, in which all letters in a string are shifted forward by 13 places. And yeah, this list is not exhaustive, so you can always Google and read up more about them. I've added a link here. Then, yeah, to get you familiar with the format of a typical CTF question, this is a question from BitCTF 2019. So here, as you can see, there's a question statement from the cryptography category in which they've given us a piece of string along with a key. And what we're supposed to do is just decode this text with the given key after identifying what cipher has been used on it. So once you're done decoding, you get the string, which happens to be your flag, and you enter it and you get your points. Yeah, also as a side note, not every question is going to be easy. You will come across questions that will make you do some research before you get to the answer. And that not only introduces you to a truckload of new interesting information, but it also, in a way, proves to be helpful to the progression of the field itself. Because what happens is, although there could be some blog post somewhere on the internet that can help you solve the challenge, not everyone's going to be searching for it, and not everyone who searches for it is going to find it. So there'll be people who will try to figure it out on their own. And in the process, they may end up discovering new vulnerabilities in the code, which weren't intended at first. And this is one of the ways in which new discoveries are made in this field, and why CTFs are kind of important. Now, a reason why a lot of us might not end up trying to do these challenges as much as we'd like to is usually because, as much as it can be interesting and exciting, CTFs can also feel like a constant reminder of how you don't have the required knowledge to crack the questions, and that can make you want to give up really easily. And the mistake that I think a lot of us might make, that leads us to, draw this conclusion, is that right at the start we might try attempting these insane CTFs, which are quite honestly way out of our league. And then we end up not being able to solve anything, and that can kill our motivation to an extent. Because the skill level that's required for CTFs varies across different events. Some are targeted towards professionals with a lot of experience and offering huge cash rewards, but there might not be much you can do to solve them without first acquiring the knowledge you need. So, if you're a beginner, I definitely recommend that you go for some beginner friendly CTFs initially, just so you can get a hang of it. Because once you start solving a few problems and realize that it's not rocket science, you'll be able to make your way up with a difficulty level faster and easier than you could have if you just jumped at some really hard question and made random attempts at it. I mean, CTFs can be really frustrating sometimes, but then again, so is everything if you want to be good at it. Um, so yeah, these are a few well-reputed CTFs you could check out. First up, as it has been already mentioned, is PICO CTF. It's generally targeted at middle schoolers and high schoolers, but it's still perfect for a beginner of any age, because it'll help you get your basics right. Then, yeah, Amrita's INCTF is also one of the best out there and has really innovative questions. It's considered to be the best in India, so it's definitely worth trying out as well. Then we have Google CTF, DEF CON, and so on. You can view the upcoming events on ctftime.org as well. So, yeah, there's a bunch of resources we put together for you. As and when a CTF event is finished, usually you'd find solutions to it on ctftime.org/write-ups. And yeah, there's a beginner guide article you might want to read, some tips and tricks. and links to more exhaustive lists. We'll be sharing this PPT in the Telegram group, I suppose. So I hope you can check it out. And yeah, one of the best things about CTS is that it's available to everyone. As in, many challenges don't require programming knowledge and are simply a matter of problem solving and creative thinking. So, provided that you're interested in problem solving, this can be a really great hobby to take up, and you can have a lot of fun tackling these challenges with friends. So, yeah, that's it about my talk. I hope this helped you in some way or the other. Thank you for listening.